चिदम्बरम जी का जन्मदिन भी है। मैं आपकी ओर से इनको जन्मदिन मुबारक देता हूं। अभी अभी कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी की बैठक चल रही है और उम्मीद है कि और 1.5 घंटे चलेगी। कल एक्सटेंडेड वर्किंग कमेटी की बैठक होगी, पर आज जो बातचीत हो रही है, जो मुद्दे उठाए गए हैं और मोटे तौर से जो कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी की ओर से रेजोल्यूशन आएगा, उसके बारे में चिदम्बरम जी आपको जानकारी देंगे। चिदम्बरम जी।
Good evening to all of you. The Congress Working Committee is deliberating on a draft resolution. The deliberations are still underway, and we expect that the deliberations will conclude at about 6:30 or so, and the resolution as adopted will be released to you in due course. But I thought we'll give you an idea of what we are discussing. We are discussing the situation in the country. Broadly, it can be divided into the political situation, the economic crisis that the country faces, and the security threats, both internal and external, that are a grave challenge to the country. While the resolution has several paragraphs, broadly they will the political situation, the economic crisis that we face, and the internal and external security threats. I shall only make a brief statement on each one of them, and then we will take some questions. Firstly, on the political situation, we believe that there is a challenge to the constitutional and federal structure of the country. Federalism has been systematically weakened. State governments have been hampered and hamstrung. Revenues to state governments have been denied or reduced. And obstacles are placed in the way of state governments discharging their responsibilities. I shall give you only two examples. Karnataka's of rice to the people of Karnataka, which was an election promise. Even though Karnataka is willing to pay for the rice, the Food Corporation has been instructed to refuse to give rice to Karnataka. This has never happened in the country before. The second example is Himachal. Himachal Pradesh has faced devastation thanks to floods and landslides. Yet, that funds are being denied to Himachal Pradesh, especially disaster relief funds. Now, even a child will know why obstacles are being placed in the way of Karnataka and Himachal Pradesh. It is only because the BJP lost the election in these two states. There are other challenges. Firstly, in Manipur, since the 5th of May, Manipur's been burning. Since the 5th of May, we have had June, July, August, September, and then we are into September another week. We are today, I think, in about 157th day. The Prime Minister has found the time to visit several countries, to make a quick dash to attend the ASEAN summit and then come back for the G8. It's startling and deeply disappointing not found 2 hours to visit Manipur. Minister's aircraft will take him to Manipur in about 2 hours, yet he has not found the time to visit Manipur. Except a 2-minute mention of Manipur just before the parliament session started, he has not spoken about Manipur. And what is happening in Kashmir? When Article 370 challenge is being heard by the Supreme Court, the government's lawyers and the government's officers file an affidavit and make statements that Jammu and Kashmir is returned to normalcy. What we see is far from normalcy. 3 days ago, a colonel, a major, a DSP, and a rifleman were killed by terrorists. And the next day, the government, the cabinet, and headquarters celebrate G20, even while Kashmir is in mourning. And again, more security forces were killed. Certainly, Kashmir nowhere near normal. Manipur is nowhere near normal. Yet the Prime Minister does not speak about it. There's a comprehensive failure of the Prime Minister and the Home Minister. I can multiply the examples of the deteriorating political situation, but I shall leave it there. Now we come to the economic situation. Inflation. The best test of inflation is whether the Reserve Bank of India will increase interest rates or maintain interest rates or reduce interest rates. For several months now, the Reserve Bank increased the interest rate, pointing to racing inflation. It has held the interest rate, but there is every indication that it will raise the interest rate again because inflation, especially retail inflation, is on many commodities either near double digit or cross double digit. Food inflation is over 10%. Even while the WPI is negative, the CPI is rising. And the government has no explanation. The government does not explain this phenomenon that the wholesale price index is falling, but the retail prices are rising. Unemployment, close to 8.5%. Exports, for the 7th month running, year on year, monthly exports have declined. In China, it has declined for 4 successive months. In India, it has declined for 7 successive months. Even the last data released by the NSO shows that several indicators are pointing to a grave crisis. One learned professor in a study has pointed out that the first quarter growth rates are suspect, while growth measured by production is 7.8%. Growth measured by expenditure is only 1.4%. We've had not this kind of discrepancy in the past. So he has questioned the 7.8%, and government has come up with a lame defense yesterday, which is reported by the media. So we have inflation, unemployment, slowing growth, falling exports, falling imports, and the government's responses completely going back to the olden days of market distortion, import duties, and other trade distorting measures. These are not the answer to India's economic challenges. In fact, these so-called answers will only worsen the situation. The third is the security challenges. I've already mentioned the security challenge in Manipur, the security challenge in Jammu and Kashmir, and add to that the Chinese challenge on our northern borders. The Chinese are standing firm in their position despite numerous talks at officers level, commanders level, foreign ministers level, and maybe even the Prime Minister and the head of government in China's level. The Chinese have not retreated an inch. What happened to the brave words, status quo ante? Nobody even speaks about the status quo ante. Remember the first few days, India's demand was status quo ante. Now, does anyone speak about the status quo ante? On the contrary, the status quo is being changed every day, every month to our detriment. More buffer zones are being created on erstwhile Indian-held territory. What does that mean? We are losing territory. The Chinese are commanding the territory or holding the territory. It's the Prime Minister's statement on the all-party meeting in June 19 June 2020 that no foreign troop is in Indian territory and nobody is intruded into Indian territory. That is a statement which has encouraged China to continue its stubborn position of not retreating an inch. Therefore, we are all concerned about it. The Congress Working Committee is deliberating on these matters, and we will have a resolution shortly. And I think now we will open the floor for a few quick questions. If there are questions, will be answered by one of us. The floor is open for questions.
इसके पहले मैं बता दूं कि कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी में 3 और प्रस्ताव पारित हुए हैं. अभी तो ये मेन प्रस्ताव पर चर्चा चल रहा है, पर इस बीच 3 प्रस्ताव पारित हुए हैं. पहला शोक प्रस्ताव था केरला के पूर्व मुख्यमंत्री उमन चैंडी जी के देहांत पर. दूसरा शोक प्रस्ताव था मणिपुर में जो हिंसा हुई है, लाखों लोग विस्थापित हुए हैं, 200 या 300 लोग मारे भी गए हैं और अभी भी हिंसा
चल रहा है अलग अलग ज़िले में, मणिपुर में, उस पर एक शोक प्रस्ताव पारित हुआ है। और तीसरा प्रस्ताव, शोक प्रस्ताव है जो हिमाचल प्रदेश में आपदा के वजह से लोगों की जान गए हैं, प्रॉपर्टी का नुकसान हुआ है और लाखों लोग विस्थापित हुए हैं। और इस प्रस्ताव में ये भी मांग की गई है कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी की ओर से कि प्रधानमंत्री और उनकी सरकार जो आपदा हिमाचल प्रदेश को भुगतना पड़ा है उसको राष्ट्रीय आपदा घोषित किया जाए, ताकि जो सहायता सरकार से मिलना है वो सही पर्याप्त मात्रा में मिलेगा। अब तक नहीं मिला है, पर हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि प्रधानमंत्री, कांग्रेस वर्किंग कमेटी की जो मांग है कि ये नेशनल डिज़ास्टर, ये नेचुरल डिज़ास्टर तो है पर ये नेशनल डिज़ास्टर भी है, ये प्राकृतिक आपदा है पर ये राष्ट्रीय आपदा है, ताकि केंद्र सरकार की ओर से जो राहत और सहायता मिलनी चाहिए हिमाचल प्रदेश को वो पर्याप्त मात्रा में मिले। Any questions? Sorry?
The one nation, one election is an assault on the Constitution. We reject it. It is an attack on federalism. It will require at least 5 constitutional amendments. The BJP knows it does not have the numbers to pass these constitutional amendments. Yet, if it puts forward this mirage of a one nation, one election, it is only to divert attention from the pressing issues and to create a false narrative. We reject this one nation, one election idea.
So what will be your main demands, prime demands in the coming special session?
What is the agenda of the present?
Asking the agenda also.
We have said former Congress President and the chairman of the Congress Parliamentary Party, Srimati Sonia Gandhi, has written a letter to the Prime Minister itemizing 9 items which should be discussed in this special session. We have not got a reply so far. If any of those 9 issues are included, we'll be happy, and we will certainly participate in the debate and contribute to a parliamentary discussion. But without the 9 items, what is the agenda they've got? The only agenda that attracted my attention was a bill to amend the Chief Election Commissioner and Election Commissioners Appointment Act, which is actually destroying the independence of the Election Commission.
एक मिनट सर, एक तो मेरा आग्रह ये है कि चिदम्बरम साहब ने जो अंग्रेजी में सभी प्रस्तावों का डिटेल बताए, एक बार आप उसको संक्षेप में हिंदी में बताएं।
वो आपको हिंदी में प्रस्ताव मिल जाएगा।
मैं माइक के पर्पस से कहता सवाल ये है कि भारत जोड़ो यात्रा पार्ट 2 की चर्चा चल रही है, क्या CWC की बैठक में भारत जोड़ो पार्ट 2 की बात हुई और क्या इसको लेकर के कोई फैसला की उम्मीद है?
There have been requests by members of the Congress Working Committee. There have been committee that we should have a Bharat Jodo Yatra 2 from the east to the west. That matter is under consideration.
Haji, any question this side?
I think you've got it wrong. The Chhattisgarh Deputy Chief Minister was participating in an official function in which the central government and the state government were launching a project. Protocol required that he does not bring issues or areas of disagreement in such a meeting. What he said was formal, polite, and protocol consistent.
सरकारी 1 मिनट सरकारी फंक्शनों में प्रधानमंत्री जाते हैं और कांग्रेस की आलोचना करते हैं, इंडिया गठबंधन की आलोचना करते हैं सरकारी कार्यक्रमों में। डिप्टी सीएम और प्रधानमंत्री मौजूद थे, तो प्रधानमंत्री की जो आदत है सरकारी कार्यक्रमों में विपक्ष की पार्टी करने की आलोचना की, वो पीड़ा हमें नहीं है, हम वो करते नहीं हैं। हम आलोचना राजनीतिक कार्यक्रमों में करते हैं, सरकारी कार्यक्रमों में नहीं करते हैं। One second, one by one. I'll come back to you. 1 minute.
I think every member who spoke at the CWC so far has supported the India bloc, India alliance, and has suggested that we should take it forward and strengthen the India alliance. 1 or 2 members said that the seat arrangement should be concluded as early as possible. Now, the mechanics of finalizing the seat arrangements is not a matter for the CWC. It is a matter for the 14-member executive committee of the India Alliance, and I'm sure they are focusing on that responsibility and they will address that task.
Haji, boliye. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, obviously, well, Telangana is not in the first round. No? Telangana is among the 5 states, and the fact that we are holding a meeting in Hyderabad obviously stresses the importance we attach to these 5 state elections. Members from Chhattisgarh, Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, and Rajasthan have spoken. I think Mizoram has not yet spoken. They have spoken, and they have explained their situation in those states. And the reports are quite encouraging, and they are generally happy reports.
एक मिनट आपको कांग्रेस अध्यक्ष का जो स्पीच है आपको मिल गया होगा, उसमें साफ उन्होंने कहा है कि इन 5 राज्यों के बारे में चुनाव की जो चर्चा है वो कल होगी। आज वर्किंग कमेटी की बैठक है, जहां राजनीतिक, आर्थिक और जो सुरक्षा से लेकर मुद्दे हैं उस पर चर्चा हुई है। चुनावी मुद्दों पर कल चर्चा होगी। हाँ जी, यस मैम, एट द बैक। एक मिनट, एक करके।
The lady,
कम ऑन।